First of all, thank you for coming. As you all know, this is a difficult time for Penn State University, its students, alumni, and supporters. Coach Joe Paterno served as university as an educator, football coach. His impact locally and nationally is immeasurable. For the first time in 60 years, Coach Paterno will not be coaching Saturday's game. The circumstances and allegations surrounding this case were horrific. Our thoughts and prayers are with all the victims and their families who have suffered. After the board meeting last evening, Rod Erickson and I selected Tom Bradley to serve as our Penn State interim head football coach. Tom has dedicated his career to serving his alma mater and helping student athletes excel on and off the field. We thank him for that unwavering service, and we look forward to his continuing leadership. As acting athletic director, I will ensure that our department will provide the resources necessary to support him throughout his transition, and that our department and student athletes move forward in a new direction. Our football team and staff have worked tremendously hard this season and will push through this adversity. We are particularly proud of the accomplishments of this team, and especially want to honor those seniors for finishing their home collegiate careers. I hope that our student athletes and fans will continue to support them and show Penn State pride. Families who entrust us with their children demand us to be stewards, role models, leaders, and solid decision makers. We will take that responsibility to heart. And Tom will certainly take that responsibility to heart. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our interim head football coach, Mr. Tom Bradley.
Cassie, please raise your hand, and we'll bring a microphone to you. General?
Tom, in light of the circumstances, we talked about outfield for the state coach Paterno, and then do you have any reservations, or what kind of reservations do you have taken down?
The questions that asked around this program.
I take this job with very mixed emotions due to the situation. I've been asked by the university, by the Board of Trustees, by Rod Erickson to handle this, and I told him I would do it last night, and I will proceed in the manner that Penn State expects. As I met with the players last night and today, I told them the expectations are the expectations. We're not going to waver from that. And that's where we are right now. Players came over last evening to the Lash building. We talked about certain things. We went over certain ways. We proceeded this morning to have a staff meeting and then a team meeting at 8 o'clock.
Do you have any reservations about taking this job?
I have no reservations about taking this job.
Rich?
Tom, when and how did you learn that you would become the interim head coach?
I was actually down in my office watching film last night, like I do every Wednesday night, and the phone rang, and it was Rod Erickson calling on the phone about 20 to quarter to 10, and he asked me if I would take the job as interim football coach, and I accepted. And then I proceeded to make sure I got a hold of the team captains and other people so that we could get started immediately on the process.
Tom, your brother told me earlier today that you faced a huge challenge. He said you were really sad about the whole way this unfolded, and now you face a tough 3-game stretch this season. He said it's almost unparalleled.
Well, first off, I did talk to my brother later last night, and first off, I grieve for the victims. I grieve for the families. Deeply saddened by that. It's with great emotion that I say that. And you know, the football part, we will get working on that right away. Right now, I think you should know where our team is toward this whole issue, and it's toward those children, it's toward their families, And our thoughts and our prayers are with them.
Jeff?
I called Coach Paterno last night around 11 o'clock. I think that's personal in nature.
Corey?
Tom, will Mike McQuarrie be coaching in Saturday's game? And if so, will he be on the sideline or in the press box?
Yes, right now Mike McQuarrie will be coaching on Saturday. That'll be a game time decision where he is.
Nate?
Tom, given how long you've been here, did you feel it was appropriate that Joe was informed of his termination via a phone call?
I'm not actually alerted how Coach was alerted to that. So this morning I heard it was by phone call.
Do you think that was appropriate?
Now, that's not for me to say. The Board of Trustees made a decision. That's their decision.
Here on the right?
Coach Bradley, I understand that you had testified before the grand jury that was investigating the Sandusky affair, and I was wondering if you could explain what you came to know about that 2002 incident or any of the other incidents regarding Coach Sandusky.
Well, due to the ongoing investigation, I'm not going to say anything about that matter.
Neil?
Tom, you've been a defensive coach in charge of the defense. How involved will you be with the offense, and what will be the process in determining the starting quarterback and how you use the quarterback?
First off, when I talked to the team today, I think they know me pretty well. I am who I am. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to pretend I'm somebody else. And when the time comes and we sit down as a staff, and we'll make that decision who the starting quarterback will be. Right now, I've made some decisions based with our staff. Not quite sure exactly, so I want to make sure I clarify this. But right now, Larry Johnson and Ron Vanderlyn will be co-coordinators on defense. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get that in full swing for Saturday's game, because obviously we have not practiced that way in regarding signals and calls and how that all works out. But we're going to head in that direction. And Elijah Robinson, Elijah's our defensive GA. He will be a full-time coach starting today.
In the back?
Some people have speculated that the whole current staff should go, you being part of the current staff. Obviously, you're just interim right now. How do you feel if that would be the case to replace in a permanent stand?
That's a decision that's up to the Board of Trustees in Penn State. It's not my decision. I've been asked to do a job, and I'm going to do that job.
Right, but how do you feel about it? If that would happen, what are your thoughts on that? How would you feel about that if you were let go just because you were a member of the current staff, not because you had...
Once again, that's their decision, not mine.
Joe?
Tom, you've worked with Jerry Sandusky a long time. Could you characterize your relationship, and how shocked were you to hear the allegations?
Once again, due to the allegations, I'm not going to comment on that. Jerry was the defensive coordinator when I was here, and I worked underneath him.
John?
Coach, for a public who's watching nationally, is it reasonable for them to assume that 4 or 5 coaches with more than 20 years of experience on this staff, and Mike McQuarrie and Joe Paterno were the only ones aware of Jerry Sandusky's alleged perversions?
Once again, I've answered that question. Due to the ongoing investigation, I'm not going to talk about it.
In the back?
Coach, as far as a reputation standpoint, what does this team do to rebuild that trust in the community off the football field? In your mind?
First of all, I think we've got to understand that this team has put a lot of hard work in. This is senior day for them. Okay, they deserve to have this day. Okay, that's what they've worked for this whole year. And my job is to facilitate that happens. I think the reputation that Penn State will go about it in the proper manner and restore the foundation, the principles of the Pennsylvania State University.
Andrew?
Tom, right here, Tom. In light of first of all, your thoughts about the riots last night in the wake of the decision about Joe Paterno, and do you worry about the safety and atmosphere for the players and fans in the stadium on Saturday, given everything that's taken place?
No, I understood there was some activity last night. No, I do not worry about the safety of our players on Saturday.